What is up, Philroaders? I'm Joshua Thomas, and I've got to make an update companion video for the Final Fantasy VII theory video that I put out yesterday because of the PlayStation State of Play video that came out literally while I was uploading the video. I'm sitting here watching the recap for just specifically the Final Fantasy VII Remake version, and it has rendered some of the information that I put out in yesterday's video obsolete. So this is kind of a companion video to that one. That one's a really long one. This is going to be a really short one. My dog is upset because of all the work I did on that last one. It took me 3 weeks. First off, they just announced that Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is going to be DLC for the PlayStation 5, maybe the PS4, I don't know, but it's going to star Yuffie and a new character, Sonon, who is a member of Avalanche, I guess one of the sects that Barrett said that they were no longer a part of. That I did not see this coming. If you had asked me just last week, Josh, if they make DLC for FF7R, what will it be? I would have said, you know what, I'll bet they're going to make DLC for Zack in Midgar. It makes sense. They've already got the assets for Midgar, and if they want to capitalize on all that work that they did to create Part 1, make a purchasable DLC for Part 1 that has another story in all those assets. And so here it is. It's Yuffie, and yeah, so this is introducing Yuffie. In yesterday's video, I talked a little bit about how, you know, all they've got left to do is create movesets for certain characters. Clearly, they've got all of Yuffie's movesets. This could change the way that Yuffie is introduced in Part 2, so I theorized on how she might be introduced in Part 2, and I was also going to create a theory video stating how I thought each of the new characters was going to join the party in Part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Then also, if you know where to look, we've already found out what Ever Crisis and First Soldier are about, unless those are just complete fakes, which I don't think so. The graphics looked really good. Ever Crisis is going to be an entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII, every single game that has been made in a mobile game, and First Soldier is also going to be a massive multiplayer combative, like arena combat multiplayer game, also on iPhone and Android. But let's get back to Intergrade. I had also theorized that the games were going to come out 2 years apart from each other. But if they're also creating DLC that looks this well done, I mean, they're adding several new locations just based on what little footage we could see. I think that it might take a little bit longer than just 6 years to come out with all the parts. So that area towards the end of yesterday's video, where I break down how I thought the different parts were going to come out, I might have to add on a year to that per part, because this is how they're going to keep our interest. This is how they're going to... I'm just blown away by this. This is how they're going to do it. And it's insane. So imagine what DLC they're going to come out with for in between Part 2 and Part 3. I mean, I think we can all agree that I want to see some Kate Sith DLC. No, I get it. No. I'm talking about Vincent. I know, let's face it, they're probably going to put out some Vincent DLC in between Part 2 and 3, or maybe even later. But this, I'm going to have to change what I said about different remake parts coming out every 2 years to maybe every 2.5 to 3 years. So that's really going to be part of the change. They also showed PlayStation 5 footage of Final Fantasy VII, which fixes a lot of the background graphics, like the distant plates where you see the Midgar plates and then the ruins of Sector 7, that kind of thing. And if we pause in the middle of this combat here, there's hints as to how far this is going to go with Yuffie and Sonon. Yuffie has 2,782 max HP, which means that you're gonna get a lot of playtime with her, and she might level up to a comparable level that your character's made it to in Part 1. So this could tie into how she is once again integrated and how she meets the characters of Part 2. In fact, in the trailer, she sees Barrett and Tifa in the Sector 7 slums in between when Cloud, in between the Reactor 5 bombing mission and when they reunite with Cloud. So will we see a little bit more storyline on them? Will they be playable in this Intergrade too? Who knows? I'm thinking it's just going to be Sonon and Yuffie, but you know what? It's Square Enix knows what they're doing, and they have not ceased to amaze me. So I think the information that has just come out for everyone, for the people who love the remake and for the people who wanted a traditional remake of the original Final Fantasy, I think they're going to be really pleased to see all this. So yeah, that's it. I might have to get a PS5 earlier than I expected. So that's all I'm going to say. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, and be sure to check out more Failroad Express board game and video game videos. I'm Joshua Thomas, and I'll check you next time.